now, try and get some heat into these Hankook tyres on their way around to the grid. For their first of 3 races, it's the championship leader, and he'll have a wingman alongside him in Sage Murdoch. Good front row for AGI Sport. The local boy, Cam Shields, and a BRM Row 2, Liam Lawson, a Kiwi driver, looking very quick this year. Ryan Sewell, their car has been better on old tyres, so watch them come on throughout the weekend. Zach Best, his best qualifying performance of the year. Zane Morse and Tyler Everingham, who's been very exciting so far this weekend. Also, watch out for Simon Fallon. He won the last round. He was very quick at Phillip Island. He'll be starting off the 5th row with Jordan Mazzaroli, the Sydney sider, out the back for junior race development. Always pays to have your teammate on the front row alongside you. And Nick Rowe, who had the pole position for the first race in Perth, will have learnt a lesson. So he won that first race in Perth. Only problem was he picked up a 5-second penalty for rolling at the start of the race, and that penalty cost him a win on home soil. So he said to me before he went out there, his biggest thing is making sure that that car does not move before it gets off the grid. What's flapping around on the back of this car? Something on the back of Aaron Love's BRM Miguel, right on the back of the gearbox. We'll see it when he comes around turn 6. It was like a rag or something. Out the back near the gearbox, they've got the extra bodywork for protection. There it is, just on the right-hand side. It's tiny. Hopefully it's not going to come away or be cause for concern. So let's go. First race of the weekend for these guys. They've got 3 rounds to go. This one, we then head off to Sydney Motorsport Park and we wrap it up on the streets of the Gold Coast. And there'll be some pretty young, nervous teenagers out there, Dave, right now.
Yeah, look, we've been there in that situation, sitting on the grid. It's very easy said about Nick Rowe rolling at the start. So easy to do that as you just put the preload on the clutch. For him, though, he's got to put that out of his head and press on, see if he can win this race. First thing he's got to do is get it off the line, get a tidy start.
He'll have his teammate starting alongside him, Sage Murdoch. This is the first time he's been up in the front row. Rev starting to rise with that green flag. A West Aussie on the inside of the front row. New South Welshman from Newcastle outside front row. AGI Sport looking to convert a front row lockout. The BRM driver's got a really good start in the blue cars. Liam Lawson will float around the outside, and Murdoch doesn't know he's there, and he nearly put the wheels into the side of him. Good start from Shields, who moves up into second for BRM. Now it's Zach Best going side by side with Liam Lawson. He'll just hang tough on turn 2. Murdoch with a big push of understeer through the mid part of that corner. Now Best in the blue and black AGI car going side by side with Lawson. Pick your line, it's like Talladega. Do you go inside or outside? Look at the slipstreaming.
Someone's going to try and go the middle. Hopefully it's been clean so far.
Lock up, that was Lawson. Tyler Everingham floats it around the top. He'll pick off Ryan Sewell. Those two are teammates at Zagami Autosport. We're right on board. Best seat in the house.
The big thing here is obviously getting a tidy first lap in, making sure that you're not getting involved in little battles and letting the guy in front get away.
Here's a battle. Zane Morse fighting with his teammate Simon Fallon. Good start for Nick Rowe. Cam Shields, 3rd in the points. 2nd on the road right now. AGI Sport leading BRM. Back on board with Everingham. He's been so exciting to watch through this first corner. Let's see how he goes this time on these Hankooks that are still warming up. Look how much rubbish there is on that part of the racetrack. Because we saw Liam Lawson go wide on the start of the race, and it brought some dirt back, and it's caught a few drivers out.
You only have to be a tyre width wide to catch those marbles that you saw on the way in. Now what those marbles are is the fresh tyres that everyone's putting on. As that soft rubber starts to fall off the side of the tyre, creates those marbles. You get in those, there's a reason why they call them marbles.
Very, very slippery. So poor Zane Morse has been dropped out the back. Still losing spots. He had Mazzaroli up the inside at turn 3. So jockey for position lap 2 of 13. Exactly what Nick Rowe needed. Clean start. He's lost his teammate as a wingman. Great start from Cameron Shields on the inside of row 2. Simon Fallon's got some work to do after winning that last round at Phillip Island. One of our Cam's rising star competitors. That's a long way back for a move. Aggressive from Tyler Everingham. The 16-year-old slicing up the inside of Zach Best. Oh, that's tight. Very tight. Not a lot of room down the front straight. Everingham crowding him.
I was holding my breath you can't run the guy on the outside onto the grey. You've got to leave him some room. He left him about 3 thou.
Not a lot in that.
Oh, absolutely. And which is basically the width of a tissue, not a cross.
Nothing in it.
A bit of tissue paper there. These guys race hard. Sometimes in the past they haven't left enough racing room, but on a track like this, very easy to line up and run the guy to the outside wide. The trouble is you're running them off the track, you get penalised for that sort of stuff.
Being open wheelers, if you do touch wheels, there can be dramas. There is Cam McConville, the team boss at Zagami Autosport, and he's on the radio to Ryan Sewell, who's currently sitting in P7. Ryan's usual engineer, unfortunately, a nasty bout of food poisoning at the moment.
Okay.
Wouldn't wish that upon anyone. So it's got Cam on the cans this weekend. Here's the start. So watch out for Liam Lawson in car 30. He's on the right-hand side. Sage Murdoch comes across, had no idea he was there. Good evasive driving, but it would have dirtied up those left side tyres for turn 1.
They raced hard into turn 1, which was good to see. Everingham got quite a good start there.
Pulled in behind his teammate. There's the dust getting flicked up on the outside. So the two blue cars up the road, best in the AGI car. Lawson in the BRM car went side by side through turn 1 and turn 2. Good racing. And when you do run wide at turn 1, you just drop to the back of the pack, and that's what happened to Zane Morse. That's what it looked like from Tyler Everingham's point of view, actually from Mazzaroli's point of view, I should say.
He did well to hang on to that, to be honest. When you're off in the dirt, obviously no grip whatsoever. He sort of gathered it all up and rejoined safely, which is the main thing as well.
That is on the absolute edge and just over it. Oh, when they bottom out on that sawtooth curb.
The carbon fibre is just getting filed down at that. That curb's just rasping away at the bottom of the tub of the actual Formula 4.
Damage on the left front here of Jordan Mazzaroli. There's been contact. We've seen this a little bit with these Formula 4s. They don't actually break off the wing like you'd see in Formula 1. They just bend up like that, and you can actually continue on. It does hurt you aerodynamically, but you can still push. Now then, Sage Murdoch under heavy fire from Liam Lawson. He's second in the championship and he wants to get a move on. Championship leader up the road, leading the way.
Interesting to see how the BRM cars, obviously AGI Sport were very fast in qualifying. BRM maybe have set a bit more conservative for the races. Let's see if those cars start to come on. Obviously Lawson wants to make sure he can get past safely, past Shields to make a clean move, and then he can try and get onto Nick Rowe if he can, but it's hard because Nick Rowe's going fast at the moment.
Fastest driver on this lap so far, Nick Rowe. Good little battle pack forming here. Tyler Everingham really coming on strong after his rookie season last year. And the rules in Formula 4 are a little bit different in a lot of categories. You can only do 2 full seasons in this category.
Okay.
So this will be his last year if he continues on with every round. Nick Rowe, he sat out pretty much half of the first season. So this is technically his 3rd year, but he didn't complete the whole first one.
Right.
So there's a slight loophole, if you will. If you don't complete a whole season, you can do a whole extra season. But if you do 3 seasons in Formula 4, you want to be winning at that point. You want to be really... There's nowhere to hide if you don't win at that point.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what Nick Rowe's doing this year. He's been very strong. Look at that lead. That Rowe and Shields have opened up.
So down the back straight, they're all doing over 200 kilometres an hour, so that's tight.
So that's with Mazzaroli, and I think there was a little touch there at turn 4. There was, yep. So that's how that front wing got folded up. Good work from the production crew to find that one from another angle. Oh, just so close. It was millimetres in that.
It was just a kiss. He would have really hardly felt that.
You just don't really know where the tip of your front wing is. If you've ever tried parking a normal road car, you don't really quite know where the front bumper is until you touch something. Very similar to what it's like driving an open wheeler. You don't quite know where that front wing is. They're
sitting so low in the car as well. But I was just saying, you look down to the top speeds, down the back straight. Tyler Everingham obviously has got a bit of a toe because at the moment he's doing 211 down the back straight. And the difference there between that and a V8 supercar is these guys are braking literally 60 metres deeper than what a V8 supercar would be. So it definitely would get your attention going in and braking so late.
So Jordan Mazzaroli has brought the 61 back into the pits. You have that folded up front nose cone, and they're just going to switch off that nose cone right now. Nice work from the JRD crew. Tyler Everingham drove for them last year. Can they get him out in the lead lap? That'll be the challenge. Wait, 1 sec. One more Zeus clip to do up. Now we're goodish. Double check. Check, check, and triple check. He's surely going to lose the lead lap here. We're off and running. And his season so far.
Did he get a mechanical black flag for that?
Didn't see it. I guess they just didn't want to chance it. Here he is, and he will lose the lead lap here, unfortunately.
Yeah. The best thing the team can do now is just say, mate, hold there in pit lane.
Yes.
And go, because at the end of the day, he was running further back anyway.
Oh, no, he's going to come around right in the middle of this battle pack too.
Yeah, I don't think it's the best call to do that, have a guy that's not in the race anymore, and these guys that are all battling now are going to, you know, unless he rolls over and lets them pass, which is what he should be doing.
All right, well, let's see how he handles this in the back straight. He's going to look at his mirrors and see Sage Murdoch and the rest of the gang approaching. How about this? Lawson on the defensive. Tyler Everingham throws one down the inside, but Lawson's got him covered. Down on the brakes in turn 3. Everingham surely can't pull this off around the outside. He'll sit there. Lawson gives him the room. They just about touch. Bumping. Oh, that's close. What do you make of that one, Dave?
Rubbing's racing, but the trouble is with these open wheel cars, you start banging wheels like that and you see the cars bike up on top. Everingham's probably a bit dirty on that because he just physically just got run out of road then.
Hard racing, Cameron.
Yeah, just to let you know about Mazzaroli, he didn't see a mechanical black flag, but it is a category rule that if you have a bent wing, you do have to come back in. So the officials were all over it.
Okay.
That one. Carl Reimler, the DSO for this category.
Actually, Carl shouted me an ice cream yesterday afternoon, so...
that was mine. Thanks for that.
Yeah, I owe you one today, Carl. Thanks, mate.
27 degrees here. Beautiful weather for racing and eating ice cream. Last 5 laps. This one, and let's just check this move out once more. So Everingham around the outside. Lawson was trying hard to pull it through the inside there, but then really...
Yeah, Carl will look at that one. You know, definitely he'll be looking at that one. It was a good move, like, for Tyler. If he'd made it stick, he had the track placement.
Wow, that is tight. I don't think Everingham was overly happy about it as well. Bit of a Sebastian Vettel, hey, what are you doing?
Well, Lawson effectively has gone wider and wider and unwound the wheel and not giving him that racing room, so...
And that racing room would have equated to the inside line at turn 4, so...
Look, there's no incident to report on, but it's definitely something that gets frowned upon from race control.
Well, it's given us a talking point in this first race. Everingham, 16 years of age. Lawson, just 15 years of age.
Just what we need, a 15-year-old hot under the collar that's been run out of road.
Oh, no, now he's going to make life worse for himself. He runs it wide at turn 6.
This is going to turn into a battle.
Here we go. He can't pass at turn 1. He's very aggressive at turn 1, but surely not here.
Oh, I think he's just about to get gifted a spot.
Zach Best runs it high. Everingham looks up the inside at turn 2.
Go, put it in there. Go, go, go.
Good stuff. Good open wheel racing. The boys having at it. Now Sewell launches an attack down the inside. He might try and get both of them. Everingham's front wing's broken. His front wing's scraping the left front end plate on the ground. So this is why he's all of a sudden lost just a little bit of grip. And he slips up in turn 3. Sewell picks them both off. 2 cars in about a kilometre. He'll be a frustrated young teenager right now, Tyler Everingham.
And with 3 laps to go of this race.
Oh, man. So what's the rule here? If it's bent, you have to come in, but what if it's just a little bit wonky? What's the CAMS regulation for that one?
Technical term, isn't it? Mate, it was wonky, it's fine. It's not scraping, it's still good.
Just a bit of angle on it. A bit of wing camber.
Yeah, I'd be pressing on until I got told to come in.
So is this where the wing got slightly dislodged? Oh,
yeah,
sure is. Goodness.
I think that was a bit of before.
That's a bit of supercars action right there.
Yeah.
Gave him a fair old shot. This is turn 1, 2, side by side. Awesome stuff. Good racing so far, Dave. This
It's
guy,
good.
He's seen none of this unless he's watching the big screen.
Nick Rowe, he's definitely been the class of the field so far, so he's driving very well. He's got the pace. Fastest lap of the race so far is a 1:12.3. So supercars in qualifying will be doing in the 1:08s. So at the moment their race pace with the Formula 4 is about 4 seconds, 3.5, 4 seconds slower at the moment.
Pretty impressive for a little 4-cylinder turbo motor.
Yeah.
It just goes to show you how quick they are around corners and how late they can brake. Jordan Mazzaroli, after unfortunately going a lap down, having a fairly quiet race now. At least that took the pressure off Mazzaroli with all that fighting happening behind him.
Absolutely. So he's in clear air. He's not impeding on anyone's race. And he needs to just have those laps to get back out there. So unfortunately for him, he's a lap down at the moment.
Big crowd starting to form up there in turn 1, and there'll be a great atmosphere here ahead of 39 laps of Virgin Australia's supercar action. Armor qualifying not far away. Utes up next for their first race. So this is not for position, this little battle here. It's Mazzaroli, who's down a lap. Let's see how Lawson handles this one.
Well, officials should be holding out a blue flag at this stage to Mazzaroli here. So let's see if they're onto that at this stage.
Oh, locks the left front. This might open the door here for Liam Lawson. You can see how there's a yellow plate on the end plate for Mazzaroli. That is to tell us that he's a rookie driver, so yellow equals rookie. And he just runs it wide down at turn 6 to let Lawson go through.
Yeah, good driving there. The best thing he can do if he's coming up to speed is get behind one of these guys that's obviously doing quite good lap times and driving well, and try and get in behind them and replicate the same thing. He might just learn something from that that'll help him for the next race.
Well, Liam Lawson's definitely a fast guy to follow. He's been right there so far this championship. So is this man, who is now the most experienced driver in Formula 4 history. Took that little stat away at Phillip Island at the last round at his 14th round start. This is his 43rd race in Formula 4, Nick Rowe, more than any other driver. This could be the championship year. He'll extend the championship lead. This is the last lap. He's nearly home.
He's done a great job. You see how he's driven a faultless race, hasn't put a wheel off. From the start, we're talking about getting off the start line. He had a very good start, and at this stage hasn't really had to look in his mirrors. He's quite simply just driven away.
Last corner, Nick Rowe. Lights to flag victory for AGI Sport. Looks over to the team on the wall and says, thank you very much. Checkered flag time at Queensland Raceway. And there's a bit going on in the background as well with these boys still coming home. Mazzaroli running it wide. And how about this fight? All the way to the stripe. It's Sewell, Everingham, Best, Fallon all in that little battle pack. And poor old Jordan Mazzaroli, who was down a lap, was just trying to get out of the way, I think, at turn 6. Yep. All these fast kids on approach.
At least Everingham finished without having to pit with that front wonky. So I guess wonky's good, right?
Wonky's okay. Wonky's okay. They'll probably be debating that one back in the pits. And he'll be frustrated. P4 was on the cards there. He had a decent battle with Liam Lawson. There'll be a little bit for Carl Reindler to go over with these young drivers who are on a voyage of learning and discovery in the CAMS Jayco Australian Formula 4 Championship. First race of 3 for the weekend, and it's Nick Rowe. Cameron Shields, Queenslander boy, very quick in open wheelers, and he picks up another bag of points. Sage Murdoch, congratulations. That is a huge drive. The front row, and that is his best ever race result. Jordan Mazzaroli down a lap, and it's Nick Rowe who will now be looking good. So